But I think it's all about surrounding yourself with the right people. You're running a business after all, I think.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Alice, if I can just ask you a question. You're pretty new on the job. What would you have liked people to tell you before you took this job on?
You know what? I'm new to being a homeowner as well. This is my first property purchase, and being in a block of flats, I decided, well, this is very interesting because there's a whole board of trustees, and they get a lot of say in what happens in the block. So I thought I wanted to have more control over the property that I own. So I just joined just because. And I've learned so much, but I kind of enjoy learning as I go. It's been quite a ride. It's been, especially since as soon as I joined, like a couple months after, there was this hard national lockdown and this COVID pandemic, and I suppose in a way that that makes everything new for everybody, because now we have to practice under these new regimes, these new rules, these new set of guidelines, and I think we're all just learning as we go. But yeah, no, I don't feel like I wish I knew something more when I started. I'm kind of happy where I am at the moment.
Excellent. Good. Well, all the best of luck. Continue. We always say that it's really a noble thing to take on, being a trustee and a chairperson. You've got to be protecting those assets. Absolutely. And maybe a last word from you. Do you think that it's been worthwhile? Was it worthwhile for you to be a chair lady in your complex? Did you enjoy it and responsibility? Yeah,
it was very rewarding. It really was. And I enjoyed every moment of being a trustee, except for one or two when sometimes you get difficult people to deal with, and you can't just walk away from them when you're a trustee. You have to absorb it. But generally speaking, I loved it. It was a complete learning process from start to finish. And can I come in very quickly with a comment on the weakness of sectional title?
Yes, sure.
It's democracy. Therefore, there are no job descriptions. And when you elect somebody, you don't ask them what their qualifications are. You elect them because they put themselves forward and there's somebody willing to do it. And the result is you don't have the same thing that a business does. When you have a vacancy, you recruit somebody to fill that vacancy. And it relates to those comments about having people who know about maintenance. We've been very lucky up to a stage. Now, with our aging population, we haven't got the people with those qualifications anymore. And one thing I always did as a chairman was to make sure we had one more trustee than we really needed for succession planning. So there was always somebody new coming in to learn the ropes and to learn what had happened before. Thanks. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Anne. I think Lynn Coleman's dropped off, but when we did speak earlier, I asked her what would be the one thing, if you could wave a magic wand as a chair lady or trustee, what would it be to improve the complex going forward? And she said to me, she just wished that there would be more people who would be more interested in the actual mechanics of sectional title, how it works, gain information, gain knowledge, educate themselves about a sectional title so that they really, really knew what they were talking about. And it would really make for much, much stronger complexes. So I think we can certainly leave it at that and hopefully just get people educated. There's never been more of education, ever. We have social media, we have courses, we have books, we have all sorts of things to educate. There's really no excuse, and ignorance of the law is no excuse for our chair ladies and trustees. So thank you very much to our panel of chair ladies and trustees. It's been a privilege to have you on. I appreciate all the support of all of you who've been listening. It's been an absolute pleasure. And thank you again to ZD Finance and Prominent Paints. You can go and look them up on Google if you'd like to see their site. Really great to have this kind of support for women in sectional title, which is gaining traction. And we're excited about it. We'll definitely see you in February for our next webinar. And until then, just keep safe, take care, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Marina.
Thank you.
Could I ask a last question if we have 2 minutes?
Yes, sure. Then I know you've got to go, Lynn Pimenti.
Yes, please excuse me and thank you. It was lovely to have this time with you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Lynn.
One of the speakers let us know earlier that they have their AGM via Zoom, and I wanted to find out, how does the voting take place through Zoom?
That's another weakness.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think where is Lynn Coleman? I think Lynn Coleman's dropped off. But I would assume there would be verification. Are there any managing agents around who can verify how they do it?
Hi, Marina.
Serena, yes, tell us.
Yeah. We just prepare vote forms in advance, and then we send that out to the unit owners and then ask them to please fill it out, and they can either send it back to us via email or take a photo and send it on WhatsApp. And that basically just goes through, it's kind of a half a A4 page, and it's just approve agenda, approve auditors, and so on and so forth, and with 2 rows for yes and a no. The problem is getting them back. A lot of people don't. So now we've decided to use, this year we're going to try Google Forms, which is very easy to use, and it'll be pre-populated. So whether they're on their phone or on their computer, they can just go through and tick yes and no, and the Google Forms will come to us. And that will obviously be their voting that goes in the minute book. Before, as they join the meeting, obviously they need to verify who they're representing one by one. But as a managing agent, you generally know all your clients. So you know who's an imposter, but nobody wants to be an imposter at an AGM. That's just a fact. Nobody wants to crash one of those meetings.
Marina, it's Shirley Beatty. Can I say something at this stage? For voting, there's a very, very good app by a fellow called Puni LaRue, and I just can't remember his name offhand. I was looking now for it, and he is very, very well versed in the sectional title, and they have a really amazing app that does the voting, the PQs, allows for proxies, everything in one go, and you can rent it for the day. You can get it on a regular basis. I mean, have a subscription to it, and I really just don't know how to send it to you, but it is perhaps I can email you the details and you can send it out. He is excellent, and it's not an expensive item. I've used it in a number of body corporates. He did a big promotion of how he does it on Zerlinda's webpage the other day, on the webinar she did, and it's outstanding. I am just so sorry I can't remember the name right now.
Don't worry. Thanks, Shirley. Appreciate it.